All right, Brandon Martina, welcome to
Yes,
the
sir.
show, man. We appreciate you coming in.
Appreciate you, buddy.
I know you got a long, crazy schedule. Appreciate you squeezing in some time for episode 2 of Shop Talk.
Number 2.
Number 2, we rolling right along, man. We had Sheriff AG on the first one, got you on this one, got some cool guests lined up. So really appreciate y'all coming in and talking
Yes,
to us.
sir.
So, folks that don't know, you guys own Lynn's Quality Oysters. Y'all been here forever. The family's what, your fourth generation?
Yeah.
Okay. And the market opened back in the 70s. Is that when you guys started doing some seafood?
It started, my great grandparents started as a bait and tackle shop.
Okay.
And then my grandmother bought it from, it probably got washed away back then.
Yeah.
She reopened it as a wholesale oyster dealer. And then in 1997, I believe it was, my mom bought it from her and started Lynn's Quality. It used to be called Braxton and Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
Then it went to Lynn's Quality Oysters, and now my mom's getting ready. She's been retired now for about 5 years, and then I started, taking over. But it'll always be Lynn's.
That's right. Well, we'll dig a lot deeper into that.
Yeah.
Because there's a few things that come to my mind when I think of Lynn's. First and foremost, damn good seafood. Y'all got the best
Thanks,
shrimp,
sir.
the best oysters, and their local Appalachia oysters, or Apalachicola Bay oysters.
Yes, sir.
And the best views. I can't tell you how much fun I have sitting on that porch, having a cold beer, eating some good oysters, and just watching that bay, man. It just, you step back in time. Everything goes away. You just connect to the water, from the food, the atmosphere, the service. It's just such a cool experience. And
Appreciate
before
that.
we get to that, though, another thing comes to mind, and that's resiliency.
Mm-hmm.
You guys survived COVID,
Mm-hmm.
Hurricane Michael, the closure of the bay, and you're a seafood restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get to those things in just a bit, but before we do, let's talk about you for a little bit. So, like I said, you grew up here, fourth generation. You got the Martina family, you got Banks families, you got so many families who have been here forever. Shiver family is another big one. And so, what was it like growing up, especially in Eastpoint on the Forgotten Coast? What'd you guys do for fun? What's it like raising a family here?
It was when I was a kid. It was a lot more simple than it is now. When I was a kid, you could ride your bicycle across the road and you didn't have to worry about a car hitting you. Now there's a lot more traffic,
Right.
But everybody fished. You went up to the river, went to the sand flats with your kids, and I'm still doing the same thing with mine, because you don't have to go to a big place to have fun. You can have fun right here. There's a lot of things to do. If you want to go fishing, you're surrounded by water,
fresh and salt.
So you can do whatever you want to, but really cool place.
I'm kind of jealous in the sense that I feel like I was really fortunate in how I was raised. I was raised on a farm. We were talking earlier, with cows and horses and there's woods to run and play and be a boy. Use your imagination, go out there and have fun. But I'm jealous because my boys get to grow up here.
That's right.
We go to the beach, we fish, we're up the river, and when you go up the river, it's like a whole nother world.
It is.
You just get away from everybody.
Yeah, your cell phone doesn't work anymore.
Exactly.
Once you get above the trestle, your cell phone service leaves you, and you listen. You turn your motor off, and it's quiet.
Yeah, which is kind of nice because, as you know, as a small business owner, that phone is off the hook all the time. Between text messages, phone calls, vendors, you name it.
Yeah.
It's nice to just kind of shut that off and just reconnect to nature, recharge your battery, and yes, I'm excited my kids get to grow up and experience this too. So like I was saying, resiliency comes to mind, and that makes sound a little weird, but if you understand your story, you guys are right on the bay. Again, you faced Hurricane Michael, which was devastating for the area. You guys faced COVID, which we all did, which was devastating. We tried to start our shop February 2020. COVID hit, and it's like, well, wait a minute. What are we going to do? We got student loans, a newborn, a new business we're trying to get going. And the closure of the bay. And the closure of the bay, I would assume your family's been super connected to that water, between the shop and just, and leisure as well. So how did you guys get through those tough times? And I'm sure there's some other stuff you can bring up too.
Just to start, pre-COVID, pre-Michael, pre-everything, I quit my job that I'd had for 15 years. I worked for the local telephone company. I had left there for 3 months. We were doing good at Lynn's, and all of a sudden Hurricane Michael came, and it wiped. We lost all of our equipment. We lost freezers. We lost everything but the ice machine because it was elevated.
Yeah.
Insurance company gave us $10,000.
That's nothing.
That won't even replace one freezer.
Right.
But we started back over. My mom was devastated when it happened because she was like, "I'm done. I don't want to do this. I'm done. I'm not doing it." I was like, "Nah, we're doing this again because I just quit my job.
Yeah.
We got to keep rolling." And ever since then, we just plowed through it.
Yeah.
Which is what you got to do.
Yeah.
There's hard times and everything.
Yeah, there are, man. And the entrepreneurs, the folks that are really, they got that mindset of just making it happen. And some, you just got to pivot sometimes.
Yep.
Sometimes you just got to grind it out.
Put your heel in the dirt and go.
Because again, we've been here for 6 years. And if there's one thing I can say about this community, other than there's a strong sense of community, which I love, is the resiliency of the folks here. And I think it's from working at water for so many years, generations, of just getting beat up by the sun, the weather, and just it makes a tough person mentally and physically.
Right. But before Michael, I mean, the hardest thing that really devastated the whole area was whenever the bay got closed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was a bad thing whenever it happened, because the way it started was you had the oil spill that out of Louisiana, Deep Horizon, whatever. They said the oil is coming. And whenever they did that, they pretty much opened it wide open. Harvest what you can get. It's going to be dead in a month.
Yeah. How do you prepare for something like that?
We did.
Yeah.
We didn't.
I don't know how you do.
It was the same thing as COVID. I mean,
right.
People told you everything's about to be gone.
Yeah.
So people went out there, and a lot of it got shipped out west to replant. But once the bay got closed, then you started seeing all the oyster houses shutting down, shutting down. Because a lot of people didn't have the trucks to go to Louisiana and get oysters and bring them back.
Right.
They just relied off the bay.
Right.
There used to be 27 oyster houses between here and Barber Seafood.
Wow.
And now it's open air.
Yeah.
But times have changed.
And I feel like now we, especially in the last 5 years, we've turned more into a tourist destination.
Oh, very much so.
Which is good and bad. It's kind of a double-edged sword because we need the business. We love when folks come in.
That's what we rely off of them.
Yeah.
I mean, June, July, that's our pretty much busiest months.
Yep.
You got to make it while you can make it, because once October hits, gets cold a little bit, people stop going to the beach. They stop even coming to town. But you still got a lot of people that have found out about the area, and they still come during the wintertime because they realize, hey, I can go down there and there's not that many people.
Exactly.
Which is a good thing.
Fall's a good time to be here.
It is.
It's not too hot.
Not too hot, not too cold.
Yep.
It did snow last year,
which is crazy.
First time since I was maybe 6 years old.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Yeah. Growing up in North Georgia, we'd get the occasional snowstorm, and it was a lot of fun. Sometimes we had like the snow apocalypse, which shut Atlanta down for a little bit, and we just went out and played in the snow. It was a good time. My son still hasn't seen it because it didn't come that far.
Yeah, it got about
east,
10 miles north of us, and then you ran in snow.
Yeah, so we kind of missed that one. So we were out there scraping up ice and doing what we could with it. So it was fun. But no, you're right. Like, fall's a good time to be here because it slows down a little bit. You can sit down at the bar and get to know your folks a little bit better who works here, and just really build those relationships that I've seen can last for years. I know y'all seen the Lynn.
I've met so many friends that I have now just from working with my mom for the past 6-7 years. I've met so many people that now have my cell phone number.
Yep.
And when they're in town, they call me and they say, hey, I'm in town.
Go hang out.
Like, come see me, man. We'll come, get something to eat, have a beer, we'll chill out.
Exactly.
But I've met a ton of people that way, and that's the cool thing about it.
That's my favorite part about owning a coffee shop. Like, it's fun making coffee,
right?
And I love drinking coffee, but meeting people.
Yep.
And they come back the next year,
and they're usually there that same week every year.
Yep. And you truly build friendships that last.
It's
forever.
Nice when the door opens. Hey Jim.
Yep.
And he'd be like, man, I can't believe you remember my name.
Exactly.
I was like, you was a cool guy.
Exactly. and they become family.
Yeah,
you know,
they do.
They become family. And that's what I love about Lynn's, is you guys got that family atmosphere. Every time we're in there, we're treated like family, you know, and again, the food's always good, service always good. And speaking of the views you guys have, you now have that nice dock on the back that you can pull up a boat to.
Yeah, you can pull your patio boat up. Yep.
So and y'all doing some live music now?
Yep, a little bit here and there. Select few, but
yeah,
not a whole lot.
All right, and I guess the next thing we got coming up is the Freedom Festival. Yeah, you guys shoot fireworks right there at Lynn's on the 4th or the day after.
I think this year is actually July 1st, which is Monday.
Okay.
We're usually the first one, and then you have Tuesday would be Carabel, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday would be Apalachicola, and then the 4th will be St. George Island.
Yeah. It's a good time to be here. It's busy, but it's so fun, man.
It is.
The locals come out.
Yeah.
You know how many folks I know, they hit Carabel, and they hit Eastpoint, and they hit St. George, and they hit the Appalachian. They're just hitting them all.
And it's good because it kind of separates. I mean, we're so small around here that you can get overpopulated really fast in one town. But every night it kind of separates. You know, some people go to Carabel, and then the next night everybody's in Appalachian, and then Eastpoint, and then St. George Island. But kind of just spread the love a little bit between the county.
Yeah, absolutely. So running that oyster house, you obviously get to meet a lot of cool people.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any? We've talked about a few folks who popped in, like Peter Sensinello.
Yeah.
And who else has popped in? We're like, this is crazy, man. I got so and so in my business right now. Is there like one person that jumps out where you're like, wow, that was a cool experience?
I've had a lot. I mean, I've had a lot of people that's come through.
Yeah.
I mean, you only see them one time, but last week, me and you were hunters. You ever watch Hunt Club with Philip Culpepper?
Mm-hmm.
The guy they call Cheeseburger?
Uh-huh.
He was in the raw bar last week.
All right.
And when he walked in, I think I embarrassed him a little bit. As soon as he walked in, I was shucking oysters, and I looked up, and I was like,
wait a minute.
I said, Cheeseburger. He was like, hey, man. You know.
That's cool.
But we see a lot of people.
Yeah.
You try not to let everybody know that they're famous people, and you know you want them to relax and have a good time.
I don't want to name drop, but we had a country musician here a few weeks ago, and it cleared out, and I was like, hey, are you so-and-so? He's like, yeah, man. I'm like, dude, I'm Matt. I thought that's you. I didn't want to call you out because you know, I think Billy Dean.
Oh, Harold?
Yeah. So I think, you know,
sorry,
these
Billy.
people, they know now. They're going to come get an autograph, and I'm going to tell them it's Brandon's fault. But no, you know, I think they want to feel like normal people. That's why they come to the Forgotten Coast. Yeah. You know, and
Billy's
not some
a great
bigger
guy.
town.
He comes in the market all the time.
Yeah, they want to come in, just be treated like normal folks, have that sense of normalcy, because their rock star life before that, whether it was television or music or whatever, is chaotic, and they just got fans going crazy. And so it's nice to be able to pop in a shop, pop in the oyster bar, and
it is
cut loose for a little bit, and you know, act like a normal person, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, brother, what else you got, man? Any new updates with Lynn's? You got any final thoughts for us? Excited to see you guys keep growing, keep pumping it out. We're about to get in a busy season, and
we are, man. It's just getting here. Within the next 2 weeks, it's coming.
Yeah,
it's gonna roll through. It'll be over before you know it.
It will. Then we'll be back to slow pace. Well, Brandon, man, I appreciate your time, brother. We enjoyed it, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.